I'm Cape Joel, and this is Comic Smack, your weekly, daily, all-the-time, anytime comic show where I give you your fix of everything you need to know from the world of comic books and superheroes. And on today's show, we're taking a closer look at Secret Empire issue number 6. The Avengers Rebellion is on its last legs. How will they overcome the unsurmountable might of Captain America? Well, let's hop on in together and find out. Alrighty then, so this issue actually opens up with a pretty sizable little prologue before we get into the main story. We check on in with what's happening under the Dark Force Dome in Manhattan. It would seem that things are getting pretty dire. Food is getting scarcer and scarcer, and it's everything street-level heroes like Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger can do to try and keep the lights on and the demons at bay. In fact, it would seem the only one who's actually thriving under the dome is Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. He's been providing people with supplies, protection, even the heroes. And what's he asking in return? Nothing at all, only that people remember who saved them in their time of need. In fact, he's probably one of the most upbeat people under the dome, saying, hey, this is Manhattan, this is New York. New Yorkers thrive, New Yorkers overcome, and this Dark Force Dome thing, this'll pass over one day too. Now from there we check out the strange dreamscape where Steve Rogers had been captured by the Red Skull. The only problem is Steve has no recollection of who the Red Skull is, even though Schmidt knows everything about him. When Steve finally works up the courage to ask Red Skull where exactly they are, Red Skull very creepily responds, oh, isn't it obvious? We're in hell right now. But don't worry, Steve, I'll get you back to the real world even if I have to kill you trying. Finally, in the prologue, we check on in with Black Widow and her young team of champions. Nadia Pym has finally gotten fed up with Natasha's more brutal tactics. Again, you gotta remember these two have shared life experience in the Red Room experiments, and while Nadia hasn't let that define her, Black Widow kinda has. No matter what happens though, Miles Morales' Spider-Man has given Black Widow his vote of confidence, saying he's ready to see this thing out to the bitter end, even if it means Ulysses' vision from Civil War II ends up coming true. If that be his destiny, then the young Spider-Man is ready to face it head on like a man. Now with all that out of the way, we finally transition on over to the real meat of the comic, and that is the Hydra assault on the Avenger Rebellion's base of operations. Hollow Tony has managed to build one hell of a force shield outside, managing to keep out the likes of Odinson, Thor, Vision, and Scarlet Witch, but the shield won't last forever. They need to start evacuating and soon, but in classic Avengers fashion, they just need to fight with each other a little bit first, mainly over who outed them to Hydra and who's the traitor in their midst. We as the reader, of course, know that the traitor is Mockingbird, but everyone else fights with everyone else on the team, seeing as everyone makes a pretty likely candidate. It's in this moment of great need a most unlikely hero actually steps up to take the blame just to speed things along, and that is Ant-Man. He says that his family was captured, makes up a whole story just so they'll hate him, punch him, and then get to actually saving people. Now while all this is going on, Captain America is working on his ultimate ace in the hole, and that is turning the newly, if shortly resurrected, Bruce Banner to his side. He talks about how the age of the Marvel superhero is over, how they've gotten so involved with fighting their own battles they don't know which way is up anymore, and that they try and bend the other peoples of the world to their will just because they consider themselves to be so enlightened. So, you know, basically everything Hydra's doing right now, but whatever. The truly amazing part of this is that Bruce Banner ends up stealing the whole issue by not buying anything that Steve is selling. He even goes as far as to say, wait, Captain America's Hydra? How long was I dead for? He then gives an absolutely rousing speech about how even though he and the Avengers might not see eye to eye all the time, they might fire him, they might blast him into space, they might kill him with arrows, but at the end of the day, he still knows that they're his friends and that they have what's best in mind for the world, unlike Steve, who is the head of a massive totalitarian fascist empire right now. And even if he might have one or two points about heroes spending too much time fighting each other, it's still trumped by the fact that, well, he's a goddamn crazy person. Unfortunately though, as we soon discover, it wasn't Banner Steve was trying to sway at all, it was the Hulk he wanted. The Jade Giant runs loose and manages to be everything Hydra needs to break down the last bit of the force shield while everyone else attempts attempts to escape. This ends up turning into a really awesome moment for Clint Barton Hawkeye, who you'll remember is still reeling from having been forced to kill Banner during the events of Civil War II. When he sees the Hulk, he freezes. He figures that this is the great punishment that's come to him, and he's ready to take it. He ends up getting saved at the last second by the Thing, who ends up running on in. This proves to be enough to snap Clint out of his downward spiral of depression and remind him, oh yeah, I'm a hero. What's happening with me isn't as important as saving the lives of those in need. Why, even Thor Odinson seems to be moved by these events and has a massive change of heart, allowing Hawkeye and the rest of the innocent refugees to escape unharmed. What happens to the Hulk? Oh, well, this turns into an amazing continuity dive. You see, back in one of Nick Spencer's Ant-Man stories, they told a bit about how Hank Pym had built a bunch of robotic Avengers. Well, Raz ends up turning them on the Hulk to slow him down, in a way kind of bringing that whole Civil War II vision of Ulysses to life, wherein the Hulk killed a bunch of Avengers. It just turned out they were robots. But the big bang is still very much yet to come. While the Avengers Resistance escapes, Hollow Tony decides to stay behind to try and get back the pieces of the Cosmic Cube. He's met by Captain America, who also came to claim the shards, and the two end up having a great rematch from their Civil War II fight, only this time it's Cap who stands triumphant over Iron Man. Here's the thing though, Hollow Tony's not mad, he's actually sorry. He apologizes to Captain America. He says he wishes he could have saved him, he wishes things could have been better, and that despite his ability to build amazing things, at the end of the day, Iron Man's greatest flaw is that he couldn't inspire people like Captain America, who he truly felt was his own personal hero. Captain America is actually taken aback by this just long enough for Hollow Tony to set off the explosives in the base. The plan was to kill them both, but Captain America has magic on his side, as Elsa St. Clair, Madam Hydra, is able to banish him away from the fight, saving him just in the nick of time. Word, however, manages to reach the ears of Black Widow that the Avengers had failed, that they're all dead, their base is destroyed, and that now she is the only hope of bringing down Captain America and saving the world. Because of that, she moves up the assassination timetable as the comic begins to wind down. So that was Secret Empire number 6, everyone, and overall I thought this issue was firing on all cylinders. On one hand, the situation just gets darker and more dire for our heroes, and yet for the first time ever there's some actual glimmers of hope going on as well. Daredevil and Kingpin put their differences aside just long enough to help people under the dome. Bruce Banner concisely and logically tells Captain America to go screw himself, while also talking about his love for the Avengers and how he knows they'll save the day. Ant-Man Scott Lang gets to be a big hero, Odinson has a face turn, Hawkeye manages to forgive himself for past wrongdoing and also finding his fighting spirit once again. I think these feel-good moments were desperately needed at this point in the storyline, and I think it helps build the bigger meta storyline that Nick Spencer seems to be laying down right now, and that is the Secret Empire could only succeed because the Avengers and the heroes were so fragmented and against one another, and if they want to win, the first step is remembering who they are and getting back together to fight the good fight. All in all, I'd give this one a 9 out of 10. It was really, really good. I hope they stick the landing now. So that was your taste of Secret Empire for the week, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, here's some other videos you can watch from the channel. Then you can follow me on social media at Cape Joel, and if you're feeling really supportive, you can become a patron. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and podcasts before anyone else, and early too, all for as low as $1 a month. So until next time, everyone, this has been Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching.